Hi, it's Randall with Carter Hill Honeybees. Today I want to update on this colony right here, which is the high mite count. I took about 10 days ago, I took 2 mediums off of it and boosted some of my weak colonies down there that I'd used the mountain camp sugar method on. I put this deep on there in hopes that they would rear some brood. Well, I come back a couple of days ago and went ahead and stacked it all the way down. This medium here is plugged out with a lot of pollen, some brooding resources, and they filled this one up with some pollen and a lot of nectar and some of the sugar syrup I put out the next day. But there's still a lot of bees in here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull these off. I've got a couple of colonies that can use these bees. If I don't do this, this colony is going to swarm, so I'm trying to just pull it down. And a couple of days ago I come in here and shook the bees down like I did in the previous video. Shook them down, put the queen excluder, put this back, and then let hopefully the house bees come back up in here and populate this where I can harvest them and use them in another colony. I'm going to pull the frame out and just show you what it looks like. Fair amount of bees on here. We have lots of pollen and some sugar syrup, and I guess there's some nectar there too. A lot of pollen there, but this will make good use in some of my colonies that need a boost. I'm going to give this a try. I've never quite done it quite like this, but I think this method will work. And we're fixing to find out anyway. It's got a little weight to it. A lot more bees on this medium. Yeah, this box still plenty heavy. Still a lot of brood in here, a lot of cap brood, a lot of pollen down here. So I'm not hurting this colony at all. They've got lots of resources. See if I can find one with some young larvae in it and just see how they look. That frame there is just almost entirely pollen. Both of these frames are capped honey. I mean, they're on the verge of plugging this thing out. Just look at the tremendous amount of brood right there. This is just unbelievable. Another frame of capped brood right there. Looks just as good as this one. I'm probably going to wind up having to come in here and pulling out and leaving a couple of frames of brood with all these bees and some empty frames. Let them kind of start over, because they're getting, even though I'm pulling all this off of them, they're getting back ahead of me. It's almost like they're trying to compete with me. I see eggs in here but no young larvae. This colony is doing really good. So I'm going to go ahead and put another deep up here, and I'm hoping they'll get up in here and start some brood. That's really what I would like to see. I'll come back in a couple of days, and if they have it, I'm probably going to swap a lot of these frames out. These are all drawn out. The bees just have to clean them up a little bit, and they'll be ready for the queen to lay in. But I'm hoping to get some brood out of this. They just bring in pollen like crazy. This colony I brought in here about a week ago, and I'm kind of going to do the same thing with it. Got a lot of population up here. I shook the bees down. I'm going to harvest these 2 supers. There was more brood up here than the one we just took off. This colony's kind of getting away from me too, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull these supers and sit on top of that, and then I just pulled off. and then put me another deep up here and see if we can get some more brood going up in it. Let's see what kind of resources we got up here now. So some of the broods hatched out in the last day and a half. Got a nice band of pollen. They're back filling with nectar. So this is looking really good. And we're seeing the same on this side. Take a look at one of these frames in this other super. And we got some bees emerging out of there. These look really good. Actually got a bee emerging right there. Lots of pollen. Obviously no eggs because I got the queen shook down below the excluder. But, this is ready to go. I'm going to utilize these on a couple of weak colonies and see if I can boost them up. All right, while I'm down here, I'm going to pull the frame out of this bottom, see what we got. There's all stages of larvae here and some cap drones on that side. All stages of brood on this side. Some older larvae and cap brood. The royal jelly looks good at the bottom. They're not nutritionally stressed, so well pleased with what I'm seeing. They're bringing in a little bit of nectar too. But they're right here next to my house, so I can monitor them closely. If they get a little bit light, they are a little bit light, so I may rig up a feeder and put on this to give them about a couple of quarts of sugar syrup. All right, we're going to make our way down there to the weak colonies and distribute those resources amongst probably 2 colonies. So I'll just show you quickly how I bundled them bees all together. I just used 2 screen bottom boards, one on the bottom, one on the top. That'll give the bees plenty of ventilation going down the road. I got it ratchet strapped together. I got about 3 miles to go down to the yard, so they'll be just fine on this short of a trip. So right here is 2 of my production colonies that I'm going to try to boost with those bees and resources right there. These colonies just kind of lagged behind. They was a little bit light on stores, and they pretty much got up top of their box, and I had to rearrange them. If memory serves, one of these 2 is the one that destroyed the queen cells in the other day. I don't think I had that on video, but I did capture some. I did damage 3 supersedure cells. There was not near enough bees. It was not plugged out. I'm 99% sure it was not going to swarm. It was trying to supersede its queen, and hopefully I stopped it. I think it's a little too early to try to do that. I see a few drones in some colonies, but I don't, in my opinion, she wouldn't get properly bred, so hopefully they'll start to cycle over. Probably by the time that queen would emerge, she would be properly mated and make a good young queen for the colony. But anyway, enough on that. About to get started and show you how I'm going to distribute these bees out on these colonies right here. The first thing I'm going to do is pull the lids off to refresh my memory, and then go from there. I'll be kind of rushing a little bit. I'm running out of daylight. We still haven't hit daylight savings time. It gets dark around 6 right now. So once it hits this weekend, we'll have about another hour in the afternoon where we can work. I'm actually getting in too big a hurry now. Let's see. see which one of these has the most bees. And that's the one I'm going to give the majority of the brood to. I mean, the one that has the least bees is the one I'm going to give the majority of the brood to. Set that backwards to start with. Okay, clearly this one has the most bees. I apologize for the wind noise. I'm hoping you can hear me. This is actually just my first month producing videos. If somebody can suggest a microphone setup to go on my Galaxy phone, I would appreciate it. Because this is all a new learning experience for me. I'd like to get a microphone where I can talk. So if somebody can recommend me a good microphone setup, talking to wind like this, I'd appreciate it. Well, note some of these bees in here. So there you go. That's I just probably tripled this colony's population. So I'll come back in a couple of weeks and rearrange this. This is not how I'm going to leave it through honey production season. But I do want to give that brood time to emerge, the colony to stabilize and get headed in the right direction, and I think this will do it. Doing pretty good. I may need to rethink putting the rest of that here. I may be going to change my mind here, but you got to be willing to divert from a plan if you need to, and or I do in any case. Try to utilize your resources the best you can. They're valuable. This colony's still pretty big. Okay, I've just decided I'm going to leave this colony as is. It's doing better than I remembered. I don't remember all this stuff exactly, but I do pretty good at times. But either way, I'm going to put this colony back, and I'm going to give those resources there, that deep and medium full of bees and syrup and pollen, to a colony in another yard. It'll take me about 10 minutes to get there. I'm going to be pushed against time to get it on before dark. But I'm going to give those resources to it. That colony produced 6 full mediums of honey last year, and it produced 6 full mediums the year before. The last 2 years I've got 6 full mediums off of it. And right now that colony's struggling for whatever reason. Maybe the queen's old, I don't know, but I'm going to give her one more chance, because I was hoping in my first year of grafting, I really wanted to graft from that queen, so I'm going to give her one more shot. Hopefully I'll find out if she's still a winner or not, or if they've changed their genetics or whatever, but it's going to take me about 10 minutes to get up there, but I'm going to give those resources to that colony right up there. Well, I'm here in my other yard, but I just wanted to show you the scenery at this yard. This is one of the most beautiful house places around my area. The gentleman that lives here, we've been friends for over 30 years. I've come up here and watched some awesome moon rises. This is looking off to the east. The sun's setting behind me. Of course, it's kind of wooded back there. You really can't see it. He invited me to put bees up here a few years ago, and I didn't know much what would happen, because all that country right over there is pretty much cut over, and there's a river down in that valley. So much to my surprise, this yard has produced very well. I think we got a little bit of time here, so I'm gonna pop the top and we'll take a look in here and see how she looks. Kind of refresh my memory. But I know the other day when I come through, it was way down on population what it had been in years past. it ain't too bad. I think it's actually increased some. The bees are, it's getting, I mean, the sun's literally about a foot above the horizon right there. It's literally fixing to set on me. So they're getting a little bit more antsy. Good deal many of bees in here, so I'm gonna get these resources on there and see what'll happen. Again, I just used a couple of screen bottom boards to transport the bees without them overheating. This location here is about 2 miles from my house. I guess it's possible some of these could fly back to my house, but I doubt it. I think most of these are going to be house bees because I didn't even bother to tape up the entrances. I had 2 ways for them to get out and they didn't leave. So. And there we have it for my beautiful hilltop yard. To boost this colony. This colony's been good to me. I'm hoping to get it to recover. We'll give it a few days, maybe a week, and see what happens. I'll probably come back and shake these bees down in here and take these 2 boxes and use them elsewhere. If it seems to be going pretty good, I'll do the nectar management routine on this within a few weeks. I appreciate you joining me for this adventure this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some benefit from it. We'll see you next time. Have a good evening.